The mushrooms contain psilocybin, which hydrolyzes in the body very quickly, to psilocin, which is the active component. Some mushrooms contain the compound with only one methyl group. It's called baecysteine. There's a chemical resemblance between these materials and the neurotransmitter serotonin. It's a very interesting balance of neurotransmitter in the body to mushrooms. Namely, they are very, very similar, except that the serotonin has a hydroxy group at the 5, and psilocin has a hydroxy group at the 4 position of the indole ring. My interest in the area of psilocybin, psilocin-like materials came from my general interest in tryptamines. I've always been very keenly amazed how many of the psychoactive materials are either phenethylamines or tryptamines. I say probably 95% or more are one of these two families. And instrumental in the tryptamine world, you have DMT, which I mentioned. It's found in many, many different plants. And interestingly, although it's a Schedule I drug, it's also found in the human brain and the human spinal system. So I guess technically, if any carrier of a Schedule I drug becomes chargeable or arrestable as an illegal entity, you and I both are illegal entities because we carry it within the Schedule I drugs as natural material. Serotonin itself is an interesting relationship to the 5-methoxytryptamines. In the serotonin is active if it's in the brain, but it can't get into the brain because it is metabolized or is too polar. The amino group is hydrolyzed off by a monoamine oxidase enzyme, and the hydroxy group on the 5 position of the indole makes it too water-loving and won't get through the blood-brain barrier to get in. So serotonin, although it's active in the brain, has to go in as a precursor and is generated in the brain. So I had the idea of taking the amino group, blocking it from being hydrolyzed, putting a methyl group next to it, which would make the enzyme inactive, and block the OH group by making it a methoxy group, so again 5-methoxy things, which would take away its polarity, and the compound is, I call it O-alpha dimethylserotonin, goes into the brain directly, and it's a very potent psychedelic, active at 2, 3, 4 milligrams. So here's again, starting with serotonin and just modifying it in these little bits, gets materials that are active at the serotonin site, but have a different type of activity. Psilocin from the mushrooms go exactly in this